Hey guys, Richard at Ryden's room here again, not in my room, so this is my, again, this is why I delayed these episodes. I was trying to work out how to do this differently. So, yeah, Family of Blood 2-part I did in one vid. Now this is a 3-parter. Utopia, The Sound of Drums, and Last of the Time Lords, and I really hate the finale, so I think rather than just bring this video down because parts 1 and 2 are perfect, I will do that one entirely on its own. But this is basically episodes 11 and 12, Utopia and The Sound of Drums. So onto it. So Jack's back. If anyone watched Torchwood Series 1, this follows on immediately after the last episode ended, with Jack abandoning Torchwood to taking the Doctor's hand with him, because he had it with him in Torchwood base. Also, I'm going to be watching Torchwood once I'm done with this Doctor Who watch, so I will probably put those vids up as well. I haven't watched them in a long time, but even longer than some of these Doctor Who episodes. So yeah, onto it then. So yeah, episode opens with Doctor and Martha ending up in Torchwood, in Wales, Cardiff, right where the Torchwood is, because they're based on that rift. Doctor's there to fuel, like a, as he puts it, pit stop. Find out the rift's been active, which he seems surprised about. Again, Torchwood Series 1 ending. Jack gets there, and of course, pretty terrible. The Doctor just sees him, looks at his look of horror, and then just decides to leave. But no, Jack catches him. And yeah, as the comic relief episode showed, that Doctor knew Jack had been brought back to life. So, you know, he didn't think he was dead, like they'd just been, you know, Rose knew she brought him back, but she didn't know that he was back permanently, presumably. But yeah, the Doctor seemingly knew it all, as he does. But yeah, he basically abandons Jack again, but this time Jack catches onto the TARDIS, and they end up in the year, is it 100 trillion? Basically the last years of it, like, of the universe, basically. And yeah, Jack catches them, then they're filming it, and it's clearly done in a quarry, which is awesome, because that's how old Doctor Who did things. And yeah, of course, Martha finds Jack's corpse. He immediately comes back to life, and of course, classic Jack style, again, another guy who fancies Martha, much like we got in previous episodes. Yep, Jack's immediately all over her instantly, hand on her chin, smiling. Hey, who are you? It's great stuff, and of course, Martha doesn't mind. So like, Linda, for why didn't? And yeah, it's a tense moment. You know, Jack is rightfully mad that Doctor abandoned him. But he's basically, yeah, there now, so they end up going to mystery. So yeah, basically, let's go through a quick summary as usual. So, yeah, in the future, there's a race of cannibalistic humans who are like there, but the non-cannibal humans are trying to launch this rocket to get them into this place called Utopia. They've got this genius of a professor who can actually do things like, here comes the ferret, here your quill, look at the camera. No, they've got the genius professor who can do things like use spaghetti strand to put things together. And yeah, basically trying to save the last of humanity, get them to Utopia, which is considered to be the last chance at survival. And basically, things fail. One of the cannibalistic humans has gotten in, wrecks everything. Of course, the non-cannibals instantly shoot her because, like, yeah, no trial, they've been just classic get things done. And they basically find they can only get the rocket launched if someone who can't die goes into a room that'll kill you. Enter Jack. Yeah, Jack manages to fix everything. They're able to get these spaceships to Utopia. They're able to take it off as well, like remotely. That, you know, originally the Professor Yana was going to have to stay it behind, so you send it off and be trapped there. But of course, now Doctor's there, you can take him in the TARDIS, sends it through, and then the Professor, you know, here's Doctor and Jack talking about time travel, time wars, Gallifrey, all that stuff, and you know, casually feels sad that feels like he's missed all this stuff. You know, he's heard stories about time travel and everything in the past. Pulls out a stopwatch exactly like the one that the Doctor had, and yeah, Martha asks him, he's like knows what's in there because of course there's a perception filter. You know, Professor wonders if it's a big deal. Martha like kind of nervous. He says it's not. Runs off to find the Doctor, tell him what's happened, and then he knows what it is. You know, he sees where the filter, opens it, and he turns out to be the Master. The Master's the only other living Time Lord. So think earlier in Series 3 in the Face of Bo said, yo, you are not alone. And the Professor's name is Yana. You are not alone. And hey, Grill, stop trying to escape. Yeah, he so instant full-on evil masterness. Probably the worst you ever see this version of the Master. You know, murders his caring assistant, lets the future kind in to kill the Doctor, Jack and Martha, and basically, although the ship's already gone to Utopia, it doesn't seem to believe there is a Utopia there. And the episode basically ends with him injured. His assistant shoots him, forcing him to regenerate, takes off with the TARDIS, leaving everyone trapped there. And great ending. Oh, and the Master's regeneration is rainbow, not gold, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's end of part 1. Great cliffhanger, and I'm certain the BBC didn't spoil this. On to part 2. So they return, Jack's time vortex. No, what's it called? It's basically his teleport, which lets him travel through time vortex manipulator. God, I can't remember. But yeah, basically they get back to 2007, the day that Howard Saxon becomes Prime Minister, and that Prime Minister is the Master. So yeah, he takes control. First thing he does is kill his cabinet, because even the Master has a sense of honour. I'll get back into that and you'll see. So basically takes over, quickly names Martha, Jack, and the Doctor as terrorists, has everyone hunting for them, takes Martha's family prisoner. They follow him to his ship. They create perception filter keys so they can sneak onto the ship without being noticed. Master seems not to be able to notice them either. Gets there, makes contact with an alien species called the Toclophane, which quickly invade Earth, instantly has the president killed. He decides to take control, starting with Uncle Sam, and then they just slaughter everyone on Earth. And then that's the end of part 2. So I'm going to end the actual review at this one. I want to say part 3 for later, because it deserves its own video because of its badness. So yeah, this is a superb story. Even part 3 is really good. It just falls apart like about 3/4 in. But yeah, on just part 1 and 2 for now. So Utopia is absolutely great setting. So humanity is like still alive in like even like trillions of years, which is pretty awesome. Of course, Derek Jacobi plays Professor Yenna so well and plays the Master perfectly. He's just pure hatred and evil. Like, I've not even really seen that since Roger Delgado's original Master, and you think, God, why couldn't he be around for longer? He's just so great. Great talk with Jack. Yeah, the obligatory. Rose is gone. Martha's jealous again, but I could accept it this time because Jack obviously is Rose's friend, and like I said, he saw the list of the dead at Canary Wharf, wants to know if she's safe or not. He needs to know what happened. So Jack has died many times: poison, starvation, World War I, World War II, shot in the heart, straight javelin. And he knows why, but of course it just makes the Doctor's actions really cruel, as I didn't tell him what happened, and that is, he knew he would come back every time because he's a fixed point in time. Nothing can stop him from coming back to life now. Torchwood will cover this a bit more as well, particularly Series 3. And yeah, the ending is absolutely superb. I'm pretty certain the BBC did not spoil this like they love to spoil all the Dalek ones. So yeah, I remember watching. I mean, I'd watched Old Doctor, and thankfully one of the first episodes I ever saw was Terror of the Autons, which was the Master's first episode, so I knew who the Master was. So yeah, it was great to see him come back. So even if they'd spoiled, I would have been mad if they'd spoiled the Master's Return to Doctor. I'm like, come on. I'm pretty sure they kept it secret, probably because the Master doesn't have that like universal recognition that like the Daleks do. Or Cybermen, so that's probably why, but they might have spoiled it, but I honestly can't remember. I don't think they did. I think they might have announced John Sim was playing it, like somebody, but that was it. Yeah, John Sim plays him, and yeah, so the difference is Derek Jacobi is very cruel and hate-filled when he like remembers who he was. John Sim's full of hate, but he's kind of manic. He's like got the channeling the manicness David Tennant does as the Doctor, and it's kind of because all Masters have kind of channeled the Doctor they're up against in a way, and that's they're kind of like the Sherlock to the Moriarty, like the complete opposite. And yeah, that's kind of what they got going here as well. It works well enough, but I just think John Sim could have been given a different direction maybe. I just don't know if the manicness was the best thing to go on. But yeah, so that's basically part 1. The Master escapes in the TARDIS, but of course the Doctor just uses just Jack's time travel teleport to get him sent back. So they get there, and of course the Master actually got sent back about a year and a half. The Doctor locks the TARDIS, so he can't go too far and do too much damage, but a year and a half is all the Master needs. He creates a new, a person, a completely new personality for himself. Some guy called Howard Saxon who, gradually rises through the ranks and becomes Prime Minister. You've got like reference to Torchwood, even Jack's Torchwood music gets played, which is pretty cool. And yeah, the Toclophane, basically these giant spheres that are like this alien species that have made contact, and yeah, got like spikes on them and fire disintegrator rays at you, starting with the president. Oh man, they're clearly not going there. George Bush and Tony Blair, like friendship here. Oh no. After the President of America says there's plans to have Howard Saxon removed from office due to his ignoring rules on alien contact. And he says to his wife, the last president of America. Yeah, like I was with a cab. Oh yes, so the master's sense of honor. So obviously the master has no real honor, but he clearly has some sort of code, as twisted as it is. Basically, yeah. First thing he does as Prime Minister is murder his entire cabinet as an all gassed. Excuse-moi. Ferret loves to hide food. I must stop him. Is he done now? Screw it, let's let him out. It's you drop the food on the floor anyway. So yeah, basically, the master has the entire cabinet killed. Hasn't moved. God knows how he got this put in there since he didn't just become president, prime minister. I guess he had some aides in place all along because he basically hypnotises the world to guarantee his success. Pretty much, there's like a. Every time every human thinks about Harold Saxon, they just kind of just tap that. Of course, the master had hypnotic powers in the older episodes, and yeah, they're still in force here. And yeah, basically, the reason he rewards the cabinet for their loyalty by killing the vault is because it turns out they all abandoned their parties once he started getting all the votes, just so they could join him. So that's their reward. Great stuff. It's so twisted and dark, but you can see there also some sense of you can call it honor, dishonor. But yeah, I do love that. It's like the reason they're doing this because they're all traitors to their own parties. Abandon the parties just to join him, so now they're going to be punished / rewarded. So other great moments. Martha again coming into her own so much more. Again, it's easy to forget that Martha may have just become the lovesick companion, but she did stand up to the Doctor a lot of the times. And this is an example. Yes, her mum was working with Hal Saxon's advisors to basically find out where the Doctor is, because Master may have been back on Earth this whole time, but the Doctor didn't know who he was because he had a similar perception filter thing going, but he was basically setting traps, like the Lazarus experiment, for example. He was like funding that project, and that'll come back at the end. But yeah, when Martha basically puts a bomb in Martha's flat, he can narrowly escape before the flat gets blown apart, and Martha ignores all the Doctor's process that it's a trap, goes to try and save her family anyway. Nice scene when her dad is not part of this. They've got Martha's mum may have been working with the Master's aides, but she basically tries to get Martha to come back and claiming that her and her dad are getting back together, and they're not. But her dad Clive is not willing to be a part of this. He seems to at the first. Come on, Martha, we'll talk, and then she asks if calmly, is anyone there? Yes, and then just basically shouts, get out of here. And it seems he was one of the people that didn't vote for Harold Saxon either, which is interesting. He starts shouting at random public, this is your fault, you voted for him. So was Clive somehow immune to Harold Saxon's effects, or was it more that he found out his wife was working for Harold Saxon's people and putting his daughter at risk? Who knows? It's a nice little mystery. So you get Jack stuff with Torchwood. He tells Dr. how Torchwood, it's nothing like Torchwood London anymore. They're not actually based in London. He's based in Wales, like you said, like we saw him running from Cardiff. He's basically got a totally different site, nothing to do with Torchwood London, because that collapsed in 2006 with a Cybermen attack. So it's just Torchwood Wales, and he says he's designed it to honour the Doctor, not to treat him as the enemy, which is pretty nice. Onto the ending of the episode. So they get onto the ship as their ship is like a giant aircraft carrier, which there's no way the government will be able to fund. She don't have fuel to keep an aircraft in the sky 24 hours a day. It's ridiculous. But hey, it's Doctor, it's not meant to be completely realistic. I mean, I get that the Master would fund something like that, sure, but there's no way government would. Well, hopefully, that'd be quite a waste of our money. He bases himself on there. He's got the TARDIS there. He's cannibalised it, turned it into a paradox machine. The Doctor Master may act like a bit of a clown, but there's pure evil in there, all right? I mean, I know him just casually sitting there while all his cabinet are killed is chilling, but the ending when the President of America tries to claim ownership, he basically wants to take charge of the situation. The alien contact, which he acts as if it's an invasion, and when the Dogvane aren't willing to listen to him, the Master's okay, I'm their boss, everyone look at me. And he's like, what are you talking about, Saxon's taking control, Uncle Sam, starting with you, kill him. And then one of them just disintegrates the president. They just start laughing madly. It's great, very manic and over the top, but there's pure evil there. How he just has the president assassinated live on TV, the whole world is watching as well. It basically ends. Jack Doctor, they all get taken prisoner. Martha's family are like prisoner, except for her brother who's managed to escape. Jack gets like lasered by the Master because he has a laser screwdriver, because who'd have Sonic? And the Doctor gets imprisoned as well. He uses his laser screwdriver on the basically combines it with Lazarus's research, his project on how to de-age himself, but he's got the Doctor's genetic template through the hand that he's got, which was in the TARDIS, and manages to age the Doctor up 100 years. Turns into an old man, so he's got no chance of stopping him. And basically they all get, that's it. He's like, Master wins, sends the top frame through, slaughter 1/10 of like Earth's population on day one, and it's over. The Master's got complete control of the world. So yeah, it just works so well. Just like that, he's completely unstoppable. Everything they try to do fails. But yeah, it's great to see the non-evil stuff in there as well. There's a great scene when the Doctor and the Master are just talking really calmly. The Master talks about how he escaped the Time War. He was there when that Dalek Emperor took over part of Gallifrey. He actually got scared, ran, did the turn himself human thing so Time Lords can never find him. And at the edge of the universe as well, obviously in Wayne's the future. And of course, because the Doctor's Inferno, which destroyed Gallifrey and the Daleks, seemingly couldn't get a Time Lord if he was human at the time. And yeah, it's just a nice scene when they're talking about that. You're talking about the Master's history of like being driven mad by looking into the power of time, because all Time Lord children are, Gallifrey has shown that, like look into the schism and it can just drive someone mad or make them run away. The Doctor ran, but the Master just wanted nothing more than power and was driven insane. Yeah, there's a drum beat in the Master's head, like he keeps hearing 4 taps, which is unusual because there was nothing like that in the originals, but it's there now. And yes, that's pretty much it. I've kind of gone all over the place in that vid, but again, this is just such a good story, and yeah, it's just a shame part 3 failed so bad. So that'll have its own video at some point, probably tomorrow. My voice is getting a bit, but yeah, if it weren't for part 3, this would be one of the greatest finales and stories ever. But we'll get to that. But part 1 and 2, I'll round out both 10 out of 10. They just all work perfectly. But yeah, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.